Right, hello there everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a very fun topic of Liverpool's worst injuries.
We're here to learn.
Now, have you ever just sat there and thought Liverpool just get one too many? And if you're a rival fan, have you ever just sat there and thought, what is Jurgen Klopp doing to get all these injuries? Because my team can get injuries, your team can get injuries, but Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp's tenure has been full of them. But you'll actually go to notice that Liverpool has been quite a plagued football club for new signings when it comes to getting the worst injuries of their career. Now, there are a couple of reasons why you might not see the likes of, let's say, Michael Owen or Naby Keita, because in their period at Liverpool, they might have got injuries, but it was probably loads of little ones, so it weren't one big injury. There might be an injury or two that I've missed off the list, so all the assistance in the comments down below is much appreciated. Help me! Anyway, smash a like, leave a cheeky subscribe, only if you enjoy the content, and let's get into the worst injuries in Liverpool history. So at number 10, we've got Joel Matip. Now, did you expect to have an injury list without the main man, Joel Matip, making an appearance? Now, the sensational giraffe from Cameroon, well, Germany, but he's got Cameroon descent, received an ankle injury that kept him out for 154 days when Liverpool played Tottenham Hotspur and beat them 3-1 before 2022 began. Now, the blessing in disguise about this injury sort of happening then, because I'm sure you remember one or two other injuries from that season that may or may not be on this list. But we went and bought two absolute legends in Ozan Kabak and the best centre-back to ever play for Liverpool, Ben Davies. These were much needed replacements as Joel Matip was ruled out for the rest of the season, and this was actually enough to make this list. Number 9, Daniel Sturridge. So a lot of people will probably expect Daniel Sturridge to be much higher on the list, but in the 15-16 season, he received a hip injury that kept him out for 167 days. Now, this weren't his first injury at Liverpool, but certainly the first one that kept him out for a lengthy spell. Before this, it was just a bunch of little mini injuries, and after this, it was a bunch of mini injuries. Now, I actually done a top 5 January transfer videos the other day, and I speculated how good Daniel Sturridge would have been without getting these injuries, and it's actually a big shame that a multitude of knee injuries, hip injuries, even back injuries kept the English striker from being another legendary Liverpool number 9, and it's a big shame that he had to make this list. Number 8, Xherdan Shaqiri. Now, here's to a man who's got calves bigger than my YouTube channel, a man who a lot of fans thought, how come Xherdan Shaqiri didn't get given more of a chance? And the only reason I can really explain it is maybe he weren't as good as the wingers who were starting, but also the injuries that he accumulated. Now, his biggest injury at Liverpool was, lo and behold, a calf injury. The absolute irony. He was out for 174 days, and before and after this, he struggled to really get a consistent run of games together. Now, of course, one thing we don't know in football is all the personal things that go on into it, but there were certainly stories at the time about how he weren't too happy with the manager and maybe had a few things going on in his personal life, or just simply wanted to move elsewhere. Liverpool is fucking freezing. But at number 7, we've got Danny Ings.
Danny Ings.
Now, Danny Ings was that player that when we signed him, I genuinely believed this was going to be the guy to be the 15 to 20 goal a season striker that we needed. And although it was looking promising in early days when he was getting goals against Everton and other teams, in his first season with the mighty Reds, he received a cruciate ligament rupture which kept him out for 210 days. And then following this injury, he had to have a knee surgery which kept him out for a further 228 days in the 16-17 season. So pretty much missing his two full first seasons at Liverpool. It's not really a surprise that he never rebuilt the momentum that he so grew for himself when he first joined. Number 6, Jose Enrique. Now, Jose Enrique, the man with one of the greatest Instagram Liverpool fan pages that you're ever going to find, and a man who always had a smile that was worth £1 million. Now, here's the thing about Jose Enrique, he just had a big bad bunch of unlucky injuries, and this was certainly one of them when he received a knee injury in the 13-14 season. Now, he was out for 240 days, and following this injury, he just simply couldn't get back into the squad, and probably was another hindrance to how good he maybe could have been. Number 5, Joe Gomez. Now, Joe Gomez has probably had just as many days being fit than what he has had being injured. In the 2015-16 season, when he joined from Charlton Athletic under Brendan Rodgers, he had a very promising start. He was a versatile centre-half who could also play left-back and right-back, but straight away after his first 3 games, he got a cruciate ligament injury. This kept him out for 234 days, literally couldn't have had a worse start. Now, the nice side to this story is that he returned from this injury, built his way into the first first team, won a Premier League title, and then everything's looking sound and rosy. But let's fast forward to the 2021 season. Yes, a season that I mentioned earlier, and it also won't be the last time I mention it on this list. Now, the reason given for this injury was essentially patella problems, or patella problems. Come on, guys, I'm not a doctor. And he was out for 231 days, which basically meant he was two of the three main centre-backs out for that season. At number 4, Virgil Van Dijk. Now, speaking of those three centre-backs, we've already mentioned Joel Matip, we just mentioned Josephine Gomez, and now we're mentioning Virgil van Dijk, a man who many claim to be the best centre-back in the world for a period of time. Maybe some still believe just that. Virgil van Dijk received a horrific injury on the other end of a Jordan Pickford tackle in a Merseyside derby. Now, with a Henderson goal that was ruled out, there was a lot of outrage after this game, but nowhere near the outrage for the injury on Virgil van Dijk, with some fans suggesting that Jordan Pickford probably should have been arrested, which I'm not going to lie was too far, but it certainly wasn't a great tackle by any means, and some would argue he would still be the best centre-back in the world if it wasn't for the injury. Number 3, John Flanagan. Now, coming through the rankings at Liverpool, many refer to John Flanagan as the Scouse Cafu, with many impressive performances in the 13-14 season, which was certainly the breakout one, getting impressive goals against Tottenham Hotspur and putting on many impressive performances. Now, in the summer of the 14-15 season, he received an edema in the knee, but he was out for 259 days, and then when he returned from this injury, literally in the 15-16 season, he had cartilage damage, which also kept him out for 259 days. Now, I'm sure he hates the number 259. Probably isn't too much surprise that John Flanagan never resurged his career, and it kind of went downhill towards the end. At number 2, Oxley Chamberlain. Now, Oxley Chamberlain, Papa Oxley, this is the man who, when he joined Liverpool, lit up the whole entire Anfield Stadium. Just gave that extra bit of life and energy that the midfield much needed, and he also brought the goals. Now, these were goals that we never had before, and we haven't had since. I'd argue that Oxley Chamberlain is the best goal scorer midfielder since Steven Gerrard. Now, I know you can say Felipe Coutinho, but I'd probably say he's more of an attacker opposed to a midfielder, whereas Oxley Chamberlain, he just was box to box as they come. Now, in his first season in 17-18, he was tearing up the league as well as the Champions League, but then, speaking of the Champions League, he received a cruciate ligament rupture in the Roma game of 2018, and this went on to keep him out for 316 days. Now, the reason why this is just dead devastating is because he was actually amazing before this, and he just seemed to have found the perfect man in Jurgen Klopp. A lot of people would say he wouldn't have ever ended up reaching the heights because of his days at Arsenal, but I just think with that relationship with Jurgen Klopp and with the way that Jurgen Klopp wanted to play him, it could have really suited Oxley, but he just simply couldn't get the string of games together after this injury. And this all leads to number 1 on the list, Nathaniel Klein, the forgotten man at right back, the man that Trent Alexander-Arnold surpassed. But it does make you think, would have Jurgen Klopp been so generous to the young Scouser if Nathaniel Klein didn't receive these injuries? He was a very strong defensive right back, lacked more in the attacking side, but certainly was good enough for Liverpool at the time. Now, in 17-18, he received a back injury, which kept him out for 257 days, and what makes this even worse is that following this back injury, he had to even have a loan spell out at Bournemouth. When returning from the loan spell to be given a second chance in the red shirt, he then received another injury, a cruciate ligament rupture, which kept him out for 342 days, and these two injuries combined has kept Nathaniel Klein out for 600 days at Liverpool. Now, what's very, very ironic is that ever since these two injuries, he's never had another injury like that since. So it does make you think that players like Danny Ings, Nathaniel Klein, John Flanagan, to receive such bad injuries at Liverpool but not have them since, does lead to ask you the question, what is Jurgen Klopp, the coaches, or whoever's in charge of these medical doctors, what are they doing, what decisions are they making, and why do we get so many bad injuries? Because it just seems to be happening season after season for many, many years. So before we keep blaming it down to luck, we might need to start talking about a few other things of why this could be happening, and I'd like to know what those things are from you in the comments down below. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do smash a like as it gets the video more out there, and let me know on any other top 5s or 10s that you want to see in the future. Thank you for watching, much love to your mothers, and I will see you in a bit.